Okay, I'm gonna do this really quick. Um, I had a dream last night. I don't know how much really I'm gonna share. Um, I'm just gonna share just a little bit of it. Okay, um, it was about someone that I know, and um, their father was in it as well. The father has been passed away for a while, but I felt like I needed to reach this person. Okay, um, but I think there's a part of it that can help everyone or wake up someone's eyes. Okay, so I was in this place, um, and this person was being pulled by many people. And when I say pulled, like directions, doing things, um, without being explicit, they were um, in bed with someone in one part of the dream, but it was a room that had many beds, like a whole bunch of beds. And it wasn't um, holy. And I went to go grab this person out, and I kept getting blocked. And on the side of the room, there was, it kind of looked like a wall to my right of curtains, and behind the curtains were kind of like glass French doors that led out to a long balcony. Like the whole side of the building had a balcony that looked over things. And I felt like she was out there, but she wasn't. She was in this bed. Um, I went and I was looking and I pulled back covers, meaning I guess I'm uncovering things or unveiling things. Things are being unveiled. Okay. And I grabbed her and I said, "You got to go. We got to go. Like, don't do this. We got to go." And as this person was walking with me, I had her hand in her wrist, like on one arm, like half her hand and wrist or something. I was just holding it, and I was walking like kind of quick, but she was walking with me, but she was walking drunkenly and like dazed, like a trance daze. And she was coming with me, but she was in this type of trance. And I noticed as I was walking, leading her, that I'm sorry, I'm looking up because I'm thinking of what I need to say. As I was walking, leading her, I noticed that she had. Now, if you've got kids in the room, maybe not let them hear this. It's not horrible, but it's some of their video games are worse nowadays. But I'm hoping they don't play those. Um, okay, so she had like small scissors in her hand, and she was kind of tasted them and then set them on a table as we were walking by, like leaving them behind, like she was done with them. I didn't get the feeling that there was a hurting going on, kind of like, not like she didn't kill someone. It was just they were used for something. And um okay, the beds in the room, I kind of got like, the term, like you're in bed with something, like you're in bed with evil, meaning you're partnered with it. Okay, and there was lots of beds, so there was a lot of people partnered with it, of what was going on, or just bad things against God, right? And so as I saw her set these scissors down. I'm kind of still walking her like really quick to get out of the area that we were in. And I noticed that she would kind of be coherent talking to me, and then she I was like, "Oh, there's blood on your hands, like it was on your wrist or something." And I thought, "Oh, I'm holding a hand." But I was just like leading her. I was like, you got to get out of here. We got to get you out of here. Like, you can't do this." And I looked at her, and she was like, "Oh." And then she grabbed a hand, like her hand, she brought it up to her. And she was like in this trance kind of, but knowing what she was doing. And she started licking her hand. And she wanted to lick her hand. And the more that she did it, like the more it was consuming her, kind of like ritually or something. Okay. And so I let go of her hand, because then her hair was wet. She had long hair and her hair was wet. And she had a ponytail holder, and she bent over because she was putting her hair up in a ponytail. And so I let go of her hand, and I was still like 2 paces ahead of her. And as she was putting her hair up, she was kind of like, thank you for, but it was still like a weird, like awkward talking, like she was still kind of out of it. And we walked by a metal stairwell. It was like industrial stairwell. And I was 2 paces ahead of her, and I noticed she kind of just slipped up the step. Like she didn't follow me anymore. She slipped up the step. So I stopped, and I was like, where is she going? Is she going to go change? What's wrong? I don't understand. So I walked up the stairwell, and it was kind of like we were on the ground floor. So it was 1 flight up. And I started walking up the steps, got to the landing, and I was standing halfway up the other steps. And since it was metal, I had metal railings, and you could look through the railings. And I saw her, and she was in this room, and it was like an open walled room, like a store room or something. And I told her, I said, no, we have to go. We have to go. What are you doing? We have to go meet your father and his wife, who he was married to when he was alive. Okay. I don't get the sense that the father was actually in the dream. He was in the dream, but okay. So, she turned and looked at me, and I was standing on the stairs, still looking through the railings, looking at her, trying to get her to come on. And she turned and looked at me and said something like she wasn't going to come. But when she looked at me, her face, her eyes were huge, like they were round, like you could see her eyes were really big. And you could still see the white of it around a little bit, but the eye itself was huge, like the coloring and the pupil and all that. And it was all black, like a glossy black. And it was really big. And my heart sank. And I turned and looked in front of me, and I saw a room, and there was some kind of like doll in it, but it was like I don't know if I remember, like Big Boy Hamburgers or something, like one of those big boy statues that was standing So that type of doll. It wasn't like a doll, like a creepy little doll. It was just like a big boy statue. And then in a dark room. And then I turned to my left, and there was another big boy statue on the left. Okay. And I remember going, Jesus. And like nothing happened because I was just, nothing happened. Okay. And then, I was like, and I said, Jesus, like really long, like loud, like screaming to him authority, like into the whole area. And I turned my head like this from room to room, screaming it. And when I was turning my head from room to room, screaming it, you could see from me, from my mouth, like this level, right? It was like water ripples, like crystal clear water ripples all the way around me, going out into the whole room. Like I was encompassed, like, and it went out. And it was rippling, and it had, like sparkling in it, like kind of like a bubble has that light reflection, like the lights were reflecting off of it, but it was just like ripple, and it was hitting everything with its ripples. And as it would hit, as it was going out, it was like sound ripples, but water, like living water, and it would hit it, and everything started like shaking and going vroom, vroom, vroom. And like, it was going like vroom, vroom. And I could just feel the shaking and the vibration, and feel the vroom, vroom, vroom type. It was, and I realized, yeah, I know there's power in his name. I need to scream it again. And everything is in that area realized that I knew the power in that name. And so I went to yell it again, Jesus. And they muffled it, trying to muffle it. And I was still like, so I was like, you know, and I woke up screaming it muffled into my room. I wasn't scared. I know there's power in his name. There's no fear with him. He cast out all fear. But to see his name in action, like with the ripples and the shaking and then everything, it was like when it says they tremble, they shake, they tremble, and you see it. So don't be scared. God with you. God in you, Holy Spirit, Jesus he's already conquered all. I got a really quick, I got like a message from him, years ago, maybe 22 years ago. It was during 9/11, and I was driving real late to Walmart, for something. And I was by myself, and I was just talking to him, and I looked over my passenger seat as I was driving, because I felt him sit next to me, like just presence right next to me in the passenger seat. And I heard, Jesus is the breath of victory. And I just started praising God. Jesus is the breath of victory. And I know that worked for 9/11, but I feel more like it was meant for these days, this time. Jesus is the breath of victory. His name has power. He is Lord. He is King of Kings. And he is coming. Be prepared. He is coming. I love you. God bless you.